Sean in San Antonio. I saw your G5 video talking about the top 10 teams, and you're one of two people that has Texas State ranked inside the top 10. Why? What makes you like the Bobcats as a contender in the Sun Belt and maybe a playoff sleeper? I don't think Texas State is going to go to the playoff. I think that right now, when you look at the group of 5 schools, there's going to be 3 teams in the running. Number 1 is going to be the winner of the AAC, and number 2 is going to be Boise State. And the reason I say number 1, number 2 is because I think it's Memphis, and I think that it's probably Tulane. Those are the 2. But I think Texas State, the thing about them, they've added in some really good talent. I love the addition of Jordan McCloud. It's so baffling when this happens in college football, where you lose a talent, you lose a name, you lose somebody that you think is going to be a huge difference maker. You know, like a TJ Finley that goes to Western Kentucky, and then you upgrade. You get a guy that last season won the Sun Belt Player of the Year in this conference. He also had multiple records set at James Madison, where he threw for a couple 300-yard games, where he rushed for a couple 100-yard games. He finished with 40-plus touchdowns last year. On top of that, he also had a really, really, really good overall sense of where he was as an offensive player. They added in some players as well this offseason. David Connor comes on over from Colorado. They also added in Jalen Griffin from Tulane. They added in Jaden Williams from Boston College. Blake Smith, the tight end from Oklahoma, comes on in. So there's some good overall talent here. They did lose Ashton Hawkins, which does stink. But again, manageable schedule. And you also have a really good coach. You look at the games, where is the guaranteed loss? Lamar's not. UTSA's not. Arizona State, call me crazy. Kenny Dillingham, I think, is going to be a really good coach in the long run. It's not a loss. It's not a guarantee. You're not potentially losing to Sam Houston. You're traveling on the road to face off against a Troy roster that right now is going through a little bit of a rebuild because of John Summerall left in the middle of the night and took everybody with them. Louisiana is in a really good spot. But again, so is Texas State. Louisiana Monroe, one of the worst teams in college football and has been for a while. South Alabama is going through a rebuild. Southern Miss is going through a rebuild. Georgia State just hired Del McGee because Sean Elliott left right before the start of spring football. Where's the loss? Where is the guaranteed loss for you if you are Texas State? You arguably have the best quarterback in the conference. On top of that, you avoid playing Appalachian State, which is huge for you when it comes to making sure that you're hosting a playoff game. A conference championship game. And you got GJ Kinne. GJ Kinne, a year from now, might end up being the most sought-after Power 4 coach for any school not in the SEC. That might be the case. He may be looked at by every school in the Big 12. He may be looked at by every school in the Big 10. He may be looked at by schools in the ACC. There's a reason to believe it because the guy knows football. The guy has great offensive identity. The guy understands concepts. And the thing is, this is not going to be a roster that I think is going to be a quick turnaround. So do I think Texas State is going to be a playoff team? No, not at all. Do I think that they can be a Sun Belt winner? Yeah. Do I think that if they were undefeated, 13-0, they'd be in the playoff? Yeah, they would, 100%. No one's doubting that. I think that they will lose a game. I don't know where, though. And that's kind of the beauty of a school like Texas State. They have a good enough roster returning. They also have the pieces that were brought in this offseason to where you feel like there's an uptick in production. And they also feel like that they don't have a schedule that won't end up with them losing multiple games. A game? Yeah, sure, probably. Multiple games? Where? Like where exactly do you feel like they're going to fall off the cliff? I just don't see it right now. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. That's awesome. Thank you so much. But before you leave, make sure that you hit subscribe. And if you want to check out any of our other great work, make sure you click on one of the videos here. Am I pointing at the right spot? I'm not entirely sure. I'm really not.